Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the St. Clair Sports Park at the main campus of St. Clair College in Windsor, Ontario, as we welcome you once more for OCAA Women's Softball Championships action. This is a chance for the bronze medal game of the line between the Humber College Hawks and the Conestoga Condors here on We Digital Productions. Justin Prince with you here from the Rose City. And to reset how things came along for this matchup, these respective teams lost earlier today as part of their journey to this shot to try and have a chance at a bronze. That one hit down the foul line. Currently, things are underway for the Conestoga Condors' side of the plate. Currently a 1-2 count to start things off. And up high, 2-2. 2-2 is the count for the first batter of the evening for this respective matchup, as that one draws the third ball. 3-2 full count. It's Cassie Leader who leads things off at shortstop today. McKenna Ross in right field, followed by Kennedy Schnarr. Watch your top three batters for the Conestoga Condors. This one hit up to right center field. Tracked down by the right fielder and quickly caught by the Humber Hawks for the first out of the evening.
Right fielder, number 3, McKenna Ross.
As you can see, just popped up into a decent position. Visibility fairly clear for this evening's games, with a decent amount of cloud cover here today. Second at bat of the inning, McKenna Ross. This is now down out of the zone for the first ball of the count, 1-0 to start things off. That one just clips the top of the zone. 1-1 is the current count. Again, current count is 1-1. Swing and miss. Strike 2 for McKenna Ross. Porter, in the regular season, 17 games appeared in, 6 for 36 with 2 RBIs, 167 batting average. And up and down throughout this championship tournament this year. Swing and a miss, strike 3 called. And that time it's the first strikeout of the evening, recorded by the pitcher this evening, and Megan Meir. Here's the look at the swing and the miss. They're going to reach towards the outer part of the plate. This one out, bringing up Kennedy Schnarr. First strike of the count, 0-1.
Yeah, the bug is not working.
Foul back to the screen, second strike.
They're going to do a readjustment on the bug.
0-2 currently the count, 2 outs, top of the first inning. This time it's up high, misses the top of the zone. 1-2 now the count. Again, 1-2 for the Conestoga Condors with 2 outs, nobody on. Here are the early stages of this matchup. This one dribbled to the pitcher. Meir throws it to first, and the side is quickly retired. And just like that, 1-2-3 inning to start things off. This ends off with the ground ball directly to the pitcher. Heading to the bottom of the first inning, no score so far here in Windsor for this OCAA Women's Softball Championship matchup. It's the 5th total game of this respective tournament. Now, for those who've tuned in throughout the day today, they know the rituals brought on by the Conestoga Condors. They're looking to try and bounce back after a tough loss to the St. Clair Saints in the 9-2 ball game just less than about an hour and a half ago here in this very field here at the St. Clair Sports Park. We'll see how things fare out for their respective side here in the shadows of Acumen Stadium as part of this sports complex. The Humber Hawks were upset earlier today as well by Durham. And this will set things on up to see if they can find a path back towards a chance at a strong medal performance. Leading things off today for the Humber Hawks will be Alexis Vassos, followed by Haley Pasma. Georgia Burney will be amongst the top three batters, followed by Alexis Ferreira, along with Kayla Tuck, Brianna Oliver, Hannah Koziolik, Jessica Mcpherson, along with Julie Kozic. As mentioned, Mir is the pitcher, but the pitcher being faced by this Humber lineup today, you just seen a flash of it, is Haley Shield, who has performed well in this respective tournament so far. She looks to try and get her team on forward in a big opportunity here. Up at the plate to start things off, it's Vassos. And Alexis Vassos had a very up and down last respective game. Was able to get on base a couple times. Starts things off in the dirt and off in the turf. In fact, for the first ball, the count 1-0. Today's umpiring crew, Paul Ketchum, is behind the plate with Ron Drulard at first and Jamie Woodend in third. As you see, the umpire took a bit of a bounce, you just see here in the replay, towards an area you do not want to take a bounce in. That's caused a bit of a timeout stoppage for the time being on the softball field. This has been an event so far that has seen plenty of intense games, but also a fair bit of offense today. 2 home runs in 2 games were seen in today's action here at this sports park. It's also been a time where we've seen pitching performances from some of the stars, such as Morgan Lowry, who had 17 strikeouts, tying the old record for the OCAA in a loss last night. Currently, things still being discussed by Punk Ketchum and the rest of the umpiring crew, as you see many of the fans who have made the trek to Windsor for tonight's action. Fairly cool skies. The clouds have been settling in and out throughout the day today. Wind is also starting to die down compared to the wind gusts that were near 50 kilometers an hour last night. With that ready to get back into play. With the pitch that time, it goes outside the zone, 2-0. Hitters count now for Vassos. This time up towards the center of plate. Vassos lets it watch on forward for the first strike of the count. Vassos, 4th eligible player for Humber College, went to secondary school at Mississauga Southwest. This one gets the outside part of the zone, 2-2 on the riser. Two and two for the first batter of the inning for Humber. Just outside, 3-2. On deck, Haley Pasma, the first baseman today for Humber. Chopped up the middle, in for at least a single. That's the first base runner of the day today. So Humber gets into the hit column. Able to take advantage of the major defensive opening up the middle, right by the pitcher, to be able to hit it into right center field. Now up, Pasma with the first strike of the count, 0-1 watched. Second pitch down in the turf. Stolen base attempt in safely for the first steal of the game. Take a look as this one does bounce in the turf, giving the chance for Vassos on the rush. 1-1 now the count. Signal coming in from Sierra Sheehy. That one misses down low again. 2-1. This one also misses below the knees. That one sinking down to make it 3-1. 3-1 with a runner at second. Nobody out. Bottom of the first inning here on We Digital. This one in for a strike, full count once more. 3-2 for the second time this inning. On deck, Georgia Burney. And this time, it's Pasma who gets walked on base. Runners at first and second, nobody out.
Second baseman, number 11, Georgia Burney.
You can see an easy take there for Pasma. They move back to first and second, however, for the first ball in the count, 1-0. Here comes the signal. 1-0. Hit towards right center. Several try and converge on it, and they can't get it. Humber tries to rush on to home plate. Throw goes into the infield as a runner comes in to score. And Humber's already on the board. It's 1-0 as a result of the base hit from Burney.
Alexis Ferreira.
That time, the sliding attempt by McKenna Ross. Unable to come up with the catch. And now that brings up Alexis Ferreira up to the plate. Rice ball starts things off. Maybe testing things here with the base open at second for the first ball, 1-0. This one foul tip right off the catcher's mask for the first strike. And that will lead to a discussion with the hitting coach along the third base line here. Here's a look, and you see how hard that foul tip comes out to be. That's going to lead to a bit of a discussion here to make sure of things. A bit of a stoppage here in this OCAA Women's Softball Championships Day 2 matchup. The atmosphere has been very positive, we'll say, throughout this entire tournament so far. A lot of fun, a lot of major performances seen throughout the entire play in this respective tournament. And now, we're ready to get back into said play. 1-1 is the count. Nobody out. Runners at first and third. Ferreira this time watches one up high. Again misses 2-1. This one towards the middle of the zone. Chase down into center and out of the ballpark for a home run. And Humber explodes quickly on the scoreboard. The first home run of the game. They take a massive lead over Conestoga. A 3-home run off to center field to the deepest part of the ballpark, more than 220 feet. And Humber now leads 4-0. That will bring up the catcher, Michaela Tuck, after the big hit. Starts off with the sinker out of the zone, 1-0 once more. Majority of the count so far starting with a first pitch ball. This one inside clips the edge of the zone, 1-1. This one fouled away back of the screen this time, 1-2. 1-2 is the count. Nobody out still after a 4-run scoring burst to start things off. To check myself, that is in grand. That is 4 total runs now in this game, rather, with 3 runs off the previous home run attempt. That one fouled away. Stays 1-2. Keep in mind, comes to Alexis Ferreira, one of the best players in this league this year as an all-star. Showed that power last at bat. Meanwhile, for Tuck, still 1-2. This one, again up the middle. Out to the outfield it goes. And good enough for another base hit. 5 straight players have reached safely to base, 4 of them via hits now, to start off the game for Humber. And it's very similar to the first hit of the game by Vassos. Just like that, that brings up Brianna Oliver. First pitch in for a strike on the outside corner. This one chopped past the third baseman. In for at least a single. Runner stops at second, and another base hit in the inning. And the hit parade is on early here in Windsor.
Now batting, center fielder number 12, Hannah Koziolik.
Hannah Koziolik now comes up to the plate. Starts off with one inside, quarter part of the zone, 0-1. Here in the backdrop, the amount of support throughout the crowd here for Koziolik. Here comes the 0-1 from Shield. Again, middle of the zone this time for the second strike. One of the best counts, pitchers-wise, she has had so far.
Just waiting for an out to see if this bug's fully working.
Right now, Koziolik taking her time. Hit 375. And now, she strikes out for the first out of the inning.
The left fielder, number
It
8,
took 7
Mcpherson.
at-bats, but the first out of the inning comes into play with runners still at first and second. That brings up Jessica Mcpherson. Starts off with a rice ball, too high, 1-0. Again, bottom of the first inning, 4-0 Humber. After a 3-run home run by the OCAA All-Star, Alexis Ferreira. Again, up high, 2-0. Not the way Shield wanted things to begin up on the mound tonight. Already approaching 30 pitches. This one hit down to third base. Able to get one tag, but the throw off the second bounces around. That's the second out on the fielder's choice. So take a runner out of scoring position here on this bounce. Now bring up Joey Kastuck. Starts off with one in the zone, 0-1. 0-1 with runners at first and second. 10 at-bats throughout the campaign, regular season-wise. Kastuck, I should say. 0-2. This one reached for, but hit foul all the way towards the dugout down third base. Remains 0-2. And a swing and miss, second strikeout of the inning, but the damage is done. 4 runs up on the board, 5 hits, and Humber already leads by Central Mount after 1 inning play. You're watching We Digital Productions for the OCAA Women's Softball Championships. Welcome back to the St. Clair Sports Park in Windsor, Ontario for more coverage of OCAA women's softball action. To the top of the second inning, again, Conestoga taking on Humber here on We Digital. First pitch of the inning, McPherson starts off with a strike, 0-1. Up at the plate to lead off the inning, it's Alexis Volkmar. In the regular season, 16 games, 12 for 42, but 6 RBIs, hitting .286. This one dribbled to the pitcher. Throw off to first and quickly starts things off with a ground ball. 1 out.
Left fielder number 16, Emily Brooks.
Here's a look as you see the bounce quickly making its way to the pitcher. Second at bat. Maren Delaney tries to get safe and does down the base. Check that, Emily Brooks, as Delaney will be happy to see a runner on base for her now with the infield single. So now here is Delaney. Starts off with watching a strike, 0-1. Delaney in the regular season, 16 games, 10 for 48, 208 hitting average. This one later called strike, 0-2. 0-2 with 1 out and a runner at first here in the top of the second inning. This one watched this time, attempted a bunt. Instead comes in for a ball, 1-2. Comes to Megan Mears, 1.45 the ERA, regular season play. That one's up high, 2-2. That was in 7 appearances and 5 starts, a 3-1 record. In total, just 6 earned runs were allowed the entire regular season. This one hit well to center and tracked down quickly for the second out. Koziolik with the catch. See the reach on the swing attempt. That will bring up the pitcher from the last game and the first baseman for this one, Dennis Hall. Starts off watching one towards the middle of the zone, 0-1 again. In 17 games played, 11 for 43. She averaged a .256 batting average with 4 RBIs in regular season play. Foul back to the screen. On the boards, it's 0-1. Watches one up high. Steal attempt to second, and she got him. And that retires the side. After an inning and a half of play, Humber holds on to a 4-0 lead with a chance of the bronze medal game on the line. That'll bring us towards the bottom of the second inning after the explosive offensive first for the Hogs.
One hit, no one left on base.
Just the 1 hit total for Conestoga in that side of the inning. A lot of discussion you see and a lot of smiles amongst not just the dugouts, but in the grandstands. Some of the players in the second game, for example, from St. Clair Saints, very positive about how things have gone so far for them today. Now we get to see how things play out in the bottom half of the inning. It'll be the top of the order to lead things off. Alexa Vassos, Haley Pasma, Georgia Burney. Brina has already thrown 35 pitches, had 2 strikeouts and a walk in the first inning of play. Things just about all set to get back underway for the bottom of the second inning here on We Digital. So Alexa Vassos will lead things off in the bottom of the second inning. Vassos started off the game with a single about an inning ago. First pitch right down the middle. 0-1. That one watched again. Put up a second strike, 0-2. This time she'll attacking more aggressively up at the mound. This one hit towards left center field and caught for the first out. Tracked down that time. Find center fielder in Schnar.
Now batting, first baseman number 16, Haley Passman.
About 7 steps over to be able to come into catching that one. That brings up Passma, who drew a walk to get on base as part of that home run sequence. First strike in 0-1. When it comes to Breen, had an ERA of 5.89 in the regular season in 9 appearances, 9 starts, 13 appearances. This one thrown to first on the ground ball, and that's down for the second out of the inning. This one thrown to Breen a good bounce back for a pitcher who threw 53 strikeouts, but also allowed 53 earned runs in regular season play. This one down low, 1-0. Last time up the plate, Bernie hit a single. This one chopped to third base. Throw off to first, and the side is retired. So 1-2-3, bottom of the second inning. After 2 innings of play, Humber leads 4-0. You're watching We Digital Productions live from St. Clair College's main campus in Windsor, Ontario. Stay tuned. Some smiles out in the outfield for the Humber Hawks. They lead entering the top of the third inning here on the OCAA Women's Softball Championship. Justin Prince with you on We Digital. Again, this is the 5th total game of the tournament, and the winner of this matchup goes to the bronze medal game tomorrow morning. To lead things off, it's again Denise Hall, who went up to the plate, but seen a caught player stealing at second. 0-1, now the count here at the top of the inning. Swing and a miss. Second strike, 0-2. The winds at the ballpark to an absolute standstill, as that one will bring some fans up to their feet. Strike 3 called. That's the strikeout. Very aggressive up at the plate that time, and it leads to the strikeout, according by Muir. Up at the plate this time, it's Sierra Sheehy from Guelph, Ontario. The first-year player is 5'6". Swing and miss this time. Makes it 1-1. 1-1 for Sheehy. Turns to 1-2. Swing and miss again. Sheehy in the regular season, .237 batting average. 9 total hits. That one rises up 2-2. This one fouled back to the screen, keeps the count alive, 2-2. Again, 1 out here in the top of the third inning. This game going by fairly quickly. This one hit up the middle. To the outfield it goes for a base hit. And Conestoga has their second total hit of the day. And again, that's been one of the sweet spots so far for both sides. Hitting it right past the pitcher up the middle. That will bring up the second baseman, Jesse McClellan. Swing and miss to start things off 0-1. This one fouled to the very tippy top of the screen for the second strike, 0-2. Calling from Guelph, Ontario, is a first-year player at 5'3". Decent contact, but all the way to alumni way it goes. And those volunteers over at one of the tents will get a souvenir.
No, we landed like right behind those two guys that are standing there.
Here comes the 0-2. And wow, way off the mark, but both runners are safe. So again, a strikeout, and it looks like McClellan has now made her way back after attempting to go back. You see right there, goes all the way to the backstop. The runner either way moves to the second base. To recap, there is now the second out recorded, as that one goes to the turf. 1-0. This brings up the top of the lineup card. It's Cassie Leader, I should say, who has been fairly active throughout this tournament. This one, chopped to the third baseman. Throw to first, and the side is retired. So after some theatrics of sorts throughout the inning, that brings us to the middle of the frame already. One left on base, 4-0 Humber still in this respective game. They'll brace towards the bottom half of the inning. After Humber cooled off offensively after a 9-batter first inning to a 3-batter second. Taking a look now at the various dugouts as they continue to try and prepare for this respective part of the inning. It'll be Alexis Ferreira, Gilla Tuck, and B. Oliver who will lead off the bottom of the third inning. It's been an up and down day when it comes to the pitching seen from Sheehy. She has settled down for 2 total strikeouts now, but 42 pitches already has been the count reached. See if she's able to bounce back in this respective game. Or if the offense is able to wake up on the Conestoga side. Final preparations just about all set for the bottom of the third inning. To the batter's box this time, and to the circle the pitcher goes, is going to be Alexis Ferreira. Last time she was up, it was a 3-run home run to the deepest part of the ballpark. Starts off with the curve through the zone, 0-1. For a third-year player from Mississauga, 5'9". This one hit off the pitcher. Throw to first, quickly caught by Hall for the first out. The 1-3 ground out has been one of the more efficient ways to get it out so far today. That is already 2 of the past 3 batters for Humber. Retired via 1-3 groundouts. Now up at the plate, it's Tuck, the catcher. She got into a base hit last time up. That one just gets in around the knees, 0-1. Again, a part of that pipeline from Mississauga, Ontario. Again, the first-year player, 5'4". This one hits the turf and bounces all the way to the screen for the ball, 1-1. Reaching for that one for the second strike, hit foul, 1-2. That one was over the batter's box even. That one started to cut across the zone. Here comes the 1-2 from Sheehy. Watches that one for the strikeout. That makes it 5 straight retired, second out. See, just frozen by that pitch as that brings up Brianna Oliver. The drop ball ends up going to the backstop for the first ball, 1-0. Oliver, meanwhile, is a third-year player from Brampton, Ontario. Earlier today, 1 for 3 against Durham. That one outside, 2-0. The downside when it came to Oliver in that game, the 2 outs she had at the plate were strikeouts. This one chopped to the third baseman once more. Delaney throws to first, and the side is retired. So after 3 innings of play, Humber leads 4-0 over the Conestoga Condors. Coming up, more action from Windsor after this. Welcome back to St. Clair College's main campus in Windsor, Ontario for more coverage of the OCAA Women's Softball Championship. Again, this matchup to determine which one of these teams goes to the bronze game, as Humber's up 4-0 for Conestoga. So far, Megan Muir has been pitching very well. 3 strikeouts, no earned runs in 3 innings total. The pitch count also still below 40. We'll see how things fare out, though, against the heart of the lineup. It's the 2 through 4 hitters. McKenna Ross, Kennedy Schnar, Alexis Volkmar, who will begin this top of the 4th inning for Conestoga. Shot back to the screen to start things off, 0-1. This one trying to hit the inside part of the plate. Misses, 1-1. McKenna Ross, second-year player, 5'1" from Guelph. She was among just the 2 hits against St. Clair earlier. That one is watched that time for the ball, 2-1. Swing and miss this time for the second strike, 2-2. This one popped up and look out in the stands. To the top of the press box, I believe it just hit. And some of the fans are having some big reactions from the grandstands, to say the very least, after that one. 2-2 coming up. And that one called strike 3. And did not go around on the swing towards the inside part of the plate. But that will bring up Kennedy Schnarr. 0 for 1 today, Schnarr. Goes for the bunt this time. Instead, pops it up straight to the catcher. And that will be the second out of the inning. That's Volkmar in turn. Coming to the plate. Good reaction time from the catcher this time, and Sheehy. Volkmar, meanwhile, 0 for 1 with a ground out to the pitcher. Goes for a bunt as well. The Condors try and get on base. Instead, they go 1, 2, 3. No runs, no hits, no errors, and no one left on base. And after 2 straight bunt attempts on 2 pitches, it leads quickly to 2 outs. That brings us to the middle of the frame. Towards the bottom half we go. Humber leads 4-0. Now, on that side of the card, it will be Koziolik, followed by Mcpherson, along with the last part of the lineup in Conestoga, the utility player. So we'll have to see how things fare out here. Brain, by the way, up to 3 strikeouts now with more than 50 total pitches recorded in this matchup. Here's a look at some of those fans we were mentioning up in the stands. Some of them bundled up in blankets. Very cool temperatures this evening. It's been very cold throughout the past couple days, to the point where the heaters have been on throughout the day in the press boxes, and many have been cuddling amongst the sweaters to make sure they keep warm. 9 degrees Celsius the temperature currently. Mostly cloudy skies after being mostly clear just 4 hours ago. Feels like 7 degrees, with winds currently starting to pick up a touch around the ballpark.
Leading on, the center fielder number 12.
Ready to lead things off is Koziolik, who struck out last time up. She thinks about the bunt this time, pulls it back 1-0. Decent contact to left field. Tracked down. Down it goes in front of the fence. And it's a ground rule double. Take a look at the replay. Bouncing to the very base of the fence. See, right there, bounces right up and over. That'll bring up Mcpherson. Starts off with one on the turf for the first ball, 1-0. Runner in scoring position in the bottom of the 4th inning for Humber. Remember, was talked about in the earlier matchups by Mark Knight. Mcpherson from the area, Windsor, Ontario. This one chopped foul for the first strike, 1-1. During that earlier matchup, 1 hit, 1 run, 1 for 3 total. This one chopped foul again, 1-2. She'll take in her time this inning. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Runner tries to move to first. Gets tagged out regardless, but another does move into scoring position to third now with 1 out.
Now batting, right fielder number 1, Julie Caston.
That'll bring up Julie Caston. will try and get on base after striking out her last time up. Chop to the pitcher. Runner chase back to third. And that gets the second out.
He just called it a strike. This doesn't necessarily mean. He just called it a strike.
Here's a look at the replay. Quick reaction again for yet another 1-3.
Yeah, he just called it a strike.
Already approaching 5 in the ball game so far. That brings up Alexis Vassos. Down low on the drop ball out of zone 1-0. 1 for 2 so far is Vassos in this one. Hit well, but straight to the shortstop for the out, and that retires the inning. 4 innings down, Humber leads 4-0. You're watching We Digital live from St. Clair College's main campus in Windsor, Ontario. You're watching the OCAA Women's Softball Championship. Looking once more at Acumen Stadium, where many fans have been watching alone from the very top of the stadium for parts of the day today. One thing to note, there has also been playoff baseball action for their championships in Durham. Some of the fans watching some of that action on the big screen before the softball games got back into play. Meanwhile, Humber is playing very well, to say the very least. 4-0 still the advantage with 6 hits compared to Conestoga's 2. Condors looking to wake up their bats here towards the middle portions of the lineup card. 5 through 7 will lead things off. Brooks, Delaney, Hall. Justin Prince with you from Windsor, Ontario, as we're just about ready to get things back underway for the top of the 5th inning.
Leading on. Left fielder number 16, Emily Brooks.
Emily Brooks now up to the plate. Last time up, hit a single. Starts off with watching one towards the middle of the plate. 0-1, the count. This one misses the bottom of the zone inside. 1-1, the count. The regular season, Brooks, 11 for 25 in 10 games played. This one hit well, but straight to the center fielder for the first out of the inning. That moves her to 1-2. Brings up Delaney. Just a little too much underneath it. See the reaction from Brooks, knowing exactly where it was going towards Kolziolik in center. Delaney looking to get on base after flying out to center last time. Starts off with 1 strike in the middle and inside. 0-1. Remember, in that matchup earlier, it was not the prettiest one from the field. That one goes 1-1 with 1 pitch watched inside. She had several errors before she was replaced early against St. Clair. 2-1, now the count with the rise ball up high. Swing and miss, 2-2. One out, top of the 5th inning. This one is watched this time for the strike. That adds to the strikeout total for the second out of the inning. See the delay on the call. See the reaction from Delaney. She knew that was in a decent spot. Dennis Hall now up to the plate. She struck out the last time she was up. First-year player from Kitchener has been having playing time throughout the season in the infield as well. Senior at pitcher much of the campaign. One ball, one strike, the count. This one down below the knees this time, 2-1. This one slides out of the zone for the third ball, 3-1. On deck, Sheehy. And she'll take a base. First walk drawn by Conestoga today. That will bring a runner to first. Now over the plate, the catcher, Sheehy. This one hit down the third base line, but way foul for the first strike. Sheehy, very young in terms of the year experience, first-year player. Rice ball. Gets in the zone for the second strike, 0-2. And that rise ball way up high, 1-2. They're trying to get out of this inning. Runner at first, 2 outs. The 1-2. Hit sky high. Look out yet again. And that ball just landed in the press box. There is, you see the scramble now in the press box here. Keep in mind, there is an access roof point that it just came through. That one hit foul down the first base line, stays 1-2. Trying to get the top again. Look at the tag, but safe. That was close on Hall. 2 balls now in the count. 2 strikes. Look at this. Strike 3 called, and the side is retired. So 1 runner left on. No hits. No runs. No errors. To the middle of the 5th inning we go for zip still for Humber over Conestoga. You can tell Conestoga keeping their spirits up despite the struggles up at the plate. The 2 total hits. 2 total hits against St. Clair earlier today. It's been that type of a day for the Condors. We'll see how the bottom half of the inning now fares out. Humber with a chance to extend the lead. They have not been able to capitalize on that since then. Head back towards the top of the order. Vassos, Pasma, and Bernie slots 1 through 3. And those players have all not been able to get on base since the top of the inning. You should check that. Pasma, Bernie, Ferreira, who still have also not been able to find their way on base since the first inning. As a matter of fact, the entire order has not been able to find their way on base since the first inning. So we now get ready for the bottom of the 5th inning. No pitching change. Jill stays in.
Number 16, first baseman, Haley Passman.
It's Pasma who leads things off here. She walked in the first inning, grounded out in the second, now returns to plate here in the fifth. This one, chopped past Hall at first, all the way to the corner in right field. Extending it forward is Pasma. She gets in for a stand-up double to lead off the inning. And quickly right underneath the glove by about 6 or 7 inches. To be able to bring Bernie up to the plate with a runner already in scoring position. First pitch of the count quickly hit into right field. A run comes home to score. Humber extends their lead 5-0. It's an RBI base hit for Bernie.
That brings up the third baseman, number 2, Alexis Ferreira.
That one left lofted up in a slower velocity. Quickly taken advantage of for the hit. This one drops out to start things off in this count 1-0. It's Ferreira who's now up at the plate, who hit that 3-run home run that gave Humber this large advantage right from the opening onset. This one drops out to 2-0. Bringing now more than 60 pitches in this game. And a hearty cut that time on the hitter's count, 2-1. Runner at first in the bottom of the 5th inning. Nobody out. This one chopped down the third base line, but foul. Into the path of the third baseman regardless for the second strike, 2-2. That'll move the runner back to first in Bernie. Up high that time, full count 3-2. On deck, Michaela Tuck, the catcher. Hit to right center field, tracked down by the outfielder, and caught for the flyout for the first out of the inning. And the runner will track her way back to first. Quickly chased on down that time by the right fielder in Ross. Tuck hit towards the gap in right center, in for at least extra bases. Thrown into the infield to second, the ball rolls its way to third. Runners are both in that scoring position with one out for Humber.
Number 17, Bree Oliver.
So a beautiful hit and able to take advantage of that positioning to give Oliver a great opportunity here. This one chopped up the middle, in for at least a base hit. 1 run scores, a second comes home to score. Humber's lead has exploded, all while Oliver has snuck around to the second base. And we'll have to take a look at this one. Oliver chops it right to the infield while it is closely tight in, mind you. But watch this with the throw in. Oliver does not stop. Oliver nearly went to third base with the bounce around home plate. So a runner now at second with one out. This one chopped to third. Oliver still runs to third. That will count for the second out. So a 5-3 ground out is the call for Koziolik. But that does advance the runner to third. Mcpherson struck out twice in a fielder's choice today.
Hitting for the Hawks, number 4, Taylor O'Neill.
Check that. The slot is now to Taylor O'Neill, first-year player from Mississauga. This one hit down the right field line and just a foot to foul.
Okay, you've got this batter, Evan.
0-2 now for O'Neill. First time seeing playing time in this championship series. 10 games in the regular season, 3 for 19, hitting 158 for 3 RBIs. Popped up, tracked down by the catcher, and the side is retired. But 3 runs come home to score in the inning. Humber extends their advantage, 7-0 over the Conestoga Condors. More coverage coming up here on Windsor Productions. Stay tuned for the top of the 6th. Welcome back to St. Clair College's Sports Park in Windsor, Ontario. After 5 innings of play, Humber leads 7-0 over the Conestoga Condors. As we head towards the top of the frame, I'd like to remind you at 6 p.m. Eastern Time today, it's Game 6 of the OCAA Women's Softball Championship. The Durham Lords take on the St. Clair Saints. You don't want to miss it. Big game coming up. Again, 6 p.m. here on We Digital. Just about all set to go for the top of the inning this time. Mcpherson continues to stay in the game. And some various adjustments now coming in from the sides. We'll see how things play out here. McClellan will lead things off, followed by the slots of Leader and Ross. McClellan struck out the last time up. Leader still looking for a first hit. Ross trying to avoid the hat trick is there. You see the information now being forwarded to the runner for the press box for today and throughout this weekend.
Okay, we're cooking, boys and girls.
Leading on, the second baseman, number 8, Jesse McClellan.
Re-entry? Yeah, re-entry for feedback in. So who's it? 8 out, 4 in, and then they switch it back to 8 back in.
This one chopped down the line, but foul for the first strike on the bunt attempt. 0-1.
Yeah, whatever. He said either one. And for which team was the re-entry?
Humber.
Here's a look at the replay. You see very close there.
8 in, 4 out? Yeah, but then he said it says reverse. So yeah, because we've already done that once.
This one bunted again, foul for the second strike, 0-2.
And 10 for 9.
Yep, got it. We cooking? Yep. Oh, we're good, boys and girls.
2 foul balls in for the second.
So then they did this, so 8 out 4 in, and then 8 went back in. Yeah, then they switched them back around.
This one bunt attempt again, and that ends the at-bat just like that.
Yeah, so then they did this again, so 8 out 4 in, then they put 8 back in. So went back and forth, just so you know.
Now batting the shortstop,
They
number
didn't say
5,
anything still right now.
Cassie Leader.
So Cassie Leader comes up to the plate, can confirm. Now the lineup changes as they bunt it again. And again, it's an out. Conestoga has gone to the full bunt strategy.
The right fielder, number 3, McKenna Ross.
That is now 4 outs via bunt within the past couple innings for Conestoga. Starts off with a ground ball this time for Ross's slot. 1-0. Ross is up at the plate. Those changes are via Humber, by the way. One player re-entering. Mcpherson is back in. For her slot also, there was a change. Tuck is out. The catcher currently is Julia DeVuno.
No runs, no hits.
DeVuno will watch as that one's caught in the outfield to retire the side. Here's a look at the replay from Ross as this one ends up being called an F9 for the flyout. And brings us to the middle of the 6th inning. Towards the bottom half as we go, Humber still leads 7-0. And there is now a pitcher change potentially coming, we'll see. And just like that, they pull the switcheroo. As they initially had Cassie Leader up in the circle. Take a look at the dugout, meanwhile, for Humber. A lot of smiles with the route they're going towards. Again, to recap, how it works is if you win this matchup, you put yourself in a solid position for the weekend. In that regard, as in, the winner in Game 5 takes on the loser Game 6, which is the following game, Durham and St. Clair. That, in turn, is the bronze medal game. The loser of that game is awarded bronze. The winner has a chance at gold in what is essentially a double elimination bracket. That's how important this victory is for Humber. So the pitching side of things stays in the hands of Sheehy. Just about set to go. Stuck is the one up at the plate to lead off this bottom part of the inning with the 1-0 count. Make it 1-1. Watching the strike for the right fielder. This one chopped foul. 1-2. Swing and miss. Strike 3 called. That's her second strikeout at the plate today.
Back to the top, the shortstop, number 3, Alexis Vassos.
That brings up Alexis Vassos, the top of the order. 1 for 3 today. Hit to the shortstop last time as that one's hit towards the tennis center for the first strike. Vassos entered today with a .349 batting average in the regular season. This one, watch this time for the ball, 1-1.
Here's a list of how you pronounce all these things so that everyone is the same at every school.
Hit off to center and quickly caught for the F8. Second out on the snow cone.
The first baseman, number 16.
Quick reaction that time coming from Schnar. That'll bring up Pasma. Rise ball clips the edge of the zone for the first strike, 0-1. Pasma, third-year player from Georgetown, Ontario. It's gone on base twice today. One via hit, one via walk. 1 for 2. That one makes it a 1-1. As the team leader and hits entering the postseason. This one watched in the zone again, 1-2.
I said, did your dad would like any of this? She goes, no, I don't think it
Chop past the third baseman. Sliding play by leader at short. But it does go in for a single. Second hit for Pasma today.
Now batting the second baseman, number 11, Georgia Birdie.
Humber's hit count now up to 11. And it could have been even more than the single It wasn't for the slide from leader. Up at the plate, Georgia Burning. 2 for 3 today. Grounded out in the second, but 2 singles for the first-year player from Mississauga. Watches that one drift through the zone for the first strike, 1-1. Here comes the next pitch. This one drops down to the turf. Throw off to second, and that's a stolen base for Pasma. 3 stolen bases in the regular season. For a team that had 40 total. That steal total was the best in OCAA action. This one fouled up to the sky. Look out yet again. And this time it misses the press box. Setting things up this time. 2 outs. Runner at second. Swing and a miss. And the side is retired. After some hesitation from the players on this amount of outs. To the top of the frame we head towards now. 7-zip. Humber. Welcome back to St. Clair Sports Park in Windsor, Ontario for the top of the 7th inning. Conestoga needs a miracle to close things up. Meanwhile, in just about an hour or so, Durham takes on St. Clair for a chance to move towards OCAA gold medal. Coverage starts 6 p.m. Eastern Time for Game 6 of the OCAA Women's Softball Championship through Wayne Digital. Conestoga pumping things up. Meanwhile, it's Megan Mayer who continues to put on a Picasso-style masterpiece. 6 innings pitched, 7 strikeouts, just 1 walk, and the pitch count relatively decent at more than 70 entering the inning. And already, the pressure is on to see how things play out here.
So this is it. Off of the Condors. Center fielder number 11.
It's Schnar, Volkmar, and Brooks. The 3, 4, and 5 hitters for Conestoga. Starts things off with the drop ball out of the zone, 1-0. Start so far 0 for 2 today. Last time, popped up to the catcher. Swing and miss on a hardy cut, 1-1. One of the main things to emphasize throughout the multiple times Conestoga's been here throughout the season, they are not afraid to be aggressive at the plate. This one, chopped foul to the first baseman for the second strike, 1-2. In that regard, Conestoga 5th in batting average entering championship play. So you see that one go out. The 1-2 hit foul again to Alumni Way this time. Stays 1-2. Hit up to the sky towards second base. And tracked down by the second baseman and Bernie for the first out.
Now batting number 10, Alexis Volkmar.
Durham upset Humber in the early yesterday.
Next slot up is Volkmar's. 2 groundouts to the pitcher today. Volkmar starts by watching a strike. First strike of the count, 0-1. Board stay, 0-0. It's time now called. Reason for the time is a shoelace. This one hit towards left field. Tracked down but foul. Off towards the corner. Take a look at this one. Good contact. But right at that moment, the wind started to blow towards the left field foul pole. There's the signal you see from the umpire. Paul Ketchum, 2 strikes are on the count. And make it a strikeout. 2 outs. And Conestoga is down to their final one of the evening. And that time, trying to swing at a beach ball. As that brings up Emily Brooks. Hits this one foul down the left field line once more for the first strike. Brooks, the last hope for today, was amongst the just 2 Condors who got on base via hits today. Swing and a miss. And the final strike is now on the line for the Condors. Watches that one, and that is it. Humber gets to celebrate 7-0, the final. Mir puts on a stellar performance to move the Hawks to the bronze medal game tomorrow.
Coming up next at 6 p.m.
The celebration's now underway here, but the question is, which team will they be facing? See those results in just a little while or so at 6 p.m. It is Durham, St. Clair. Be sure to tune in here on We Digital. With that, take a quick break. You're watching the 2021 OCAA Women's Softball Championship from St. Clair College in Windsor, Ontario.